Okay, hey guys, welcome to the channel. So my name is Christoph and this is gonna be the first video on my channel. So a quick notice, who am I? So like I just said, my name is Christoph, I'm from Belgium and I'm a student developer. Right now I will finish my university in end of in September, in June, I hope in June. And then the next step in my journey is to land my first job in tech. Right now I'm doing an internship at a really great company. I'm learning a lot. It's really different than school. It's just really amazing. So the purpose of this channel is I want to show you guys how I started my journey, how I was learning, and I just want to share with you guys everything I think is interesting about tech and it's interesting for you guys to learn and maybe to look into. And the second thing, what I think is really important is I'm really bad at building relationships or connecting to people because I always am very also nervous to speak into groups or cameras. So this was a little bit a push out of my comfort zone. So to make sure I learn to speak, so become a better speaker, and this way I maybe can build my expand my relationships or find a lot of people with the same interests as me, and that will be so much fun. So I will make videos about things I think are interesting. So not every video you will see me coding. So some videos will just be me talking or things I find out and I want to show with you guys. So that's the main goal of this channel. So if you are interested to that, give me a like and give me a follow and maybe message out to me if you want to speak in person with me. It'd be amazing. I love to find people with the same passion and the same energy as me for the tech industry, so that would be really nice. Yes, I think that's enough. So let's get to the first video of this channel, of course. So I just want to show you guys it's something we use in school. And I think it's really interesting. We have in C# language, in C# in Visual Studio, you can set up really fast an API using Entity Framework from Visual Studio ASP.NET and dependency injection. So it's really fast way to deploy an API if you want to use it for little projects or things like that. It's not a big amount of work. It's you can do it in 15-20 minutes if everything is going okay. So that's what I'm going to show you guys right now. So enjoy the video, and already thanks for watching. Okay, so let's start creating our really easy and fast API, what I just told you guys. Okay, so let's select the ASP.NET Core Web API. So you can select this one. Let's call this Web API demo. Okay, I'm gonna save this one in a different folder. So great, you can select the folder you like, click on next. We're not gonna change anything here, we're just gonna keep everything the same here, and we're gonna click on create, and we'll create this little thing. You can close this one. I'm gonna full screen this. If you start the application, you will see it will run a built-in weather API thing. So if it will start, the first time may take a few seconds. So if you see you have a basic get weather API, and if you try it out and you execute it, it will get this data. So this is the startup file. This is what you get. You can easy check your APIs in Swagger. It's something a built-in Postman from Visual Studio. So it's really easy. It's really nice to have to check your connections and check the things you want. Okay, let's go to this one. Okay, so now what we want is we want to create our API. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a class folder. Let's say it's going to be our models. And this one we're going to create a model. We're going to keep this really basic. not a controller, sorry. So we're gonna keep this really basic, but that you will understand like how you can expand it if you want. So let's call this a user model. Okay, and this is gonna be like the model we're gonna use in the database. So we're gonna create properties and of an identifier, and we're gonna give annotations to this. This is gonna be a key. So it's the primary key. What we're gonna give him a name. Name, let's say name, first name, email, and a password. Let's give him those things. Yeah, let's also give a password. Like this is really not necessary because it's just for show. Let's say you want to have a password. Gigs. Okay, let's say email and password are required, so they cannot be null. Like it's really easy, like I said, to build something. Like now it's required, so it's a check. So it's really easy, like I said. And now we're gonna like this is gonna be our table inside the database. Like how can we do that? First, we need to establish like a connection to the database. We're gonna create like in the app settings.json. You can there's a comma and you can say connection strings. We're gonna call this one default connection, default con, and this is gonna be like everything you need from the everything what you will need to get access to your database. So the server is I need to watch what my server is. Give me just a second. SQL. So the server of your database is like the name you have right here. If it will open. Just a sec. Come on. It's so slow. Like, okay, great. Like I want to show it to you guys, but I can't. So if you go to properties, this thing over here, so the name is the name of your server, you copy that and then you paste it right here. Then you end this with dot comma. Then we're gonna say database equals, that's gonna be like the name of your database. So the name of the database we're gonna say here, let's say web API test, and then we need trusted underscore connection equals to true. Like that is the connection that you make sure that you trust the connection you are going to make. Like that's everything you need in the default JSON. So make sure to save this, Control S, and then we go to the program class. And here we need to add like first we need to add a folder. Yeah, for some structure data, and in this folder we're gonna add a class, and we're gonna call this application DB context. This is gonna be a public class and it's gonna inherit from DB context. No, not application DB context. DB context. And you're gonna install package entity framework core, install the latest package. Like this. Great. If you have this, we're gonna make constructor from application DB context, and we're gonna set in here DB context options. Options. In the DB context options, we're gonna set the application DB context, so the name of the class in the DB context option. That is going to be like our dependency injections. We're going to call this options, and we're going to do this to the base class option. Great. And you can close this because I already did make it, and autofill sometimes ruins my life. In this one, so if you have like the data layer, you can create like in here you can set like properties, sorry, and it's going to be a DB set. So this is going to be like your columns in the data in the database, and you can enter like the model. So we have a user model, and the name you give it right here, it's a name it will get in the database. So let's call this one users. Save this. Okay, like right now we did create like our connection string to the database. We did create like how we want a table to look inside the database. So we have a table users. Next thing, we have created a part of the dependency injection, but what we now need to do is we need to set that connection to our services. So we go back to here, and you like you see in here you have like a lot of services, and before the builder that built, we're gonna add the services. Like I usually make some room so you can see a lot. So you're gonna builder dot services dot add DB context, because we did use the DB context class. And right now we're gonna say the DB context has the application DB context, the class we made, and that class has an option. So option lambda expressions, and now we need to use option dot use SQL server, but it will not find the SQL server, and even when you try to install it this way, I think it never finds it. No. So what you need to do is you go to tools, you go to NuGet packages for solution, and right here you set SQL, and right here Microsoft, and then you install Microsoft Entity Framework Core.SQL Server. Like one way or another, it will never find it when you do it by quick options. It's very strange because you always need to use it when you do this. So yeah, now you can do quick, and you use the Entity Framework SQL. And now you can say like this, was excuse, sorry. That was some too much clicking. Yeah, it's like, so now we're gonna use the SQL server, but now we still need to use the connection string we just made. So we can say builder that configuration that get connection string, and this is a string, and this is the name you give default connection. This one is the name you set in the JSON, sorry, the name you set here. So make sure this one and the one in the program are exactly the same, otherwise your connection will fail. Okay, so now you are probably all set, I think. So what we're gonna do is going to tools, back to NuGet packages, but now we're gonna open the console, and we're gonna add a migration. Add migration, add user to database. What you say right here really doesn't matter. It just make sure you type something that you can remember, because if you have a lot of migrations, that you still know, okay, that was this migration used for. Okay, if you type that, just press enter, and let's see. Okay, then it's gonna give an error ambiguous is not recognized as the name of command line function. Add no, add migrations. Add migrations. Add user to database. Probably I'm gonna make a typo, but let's watch for a second. So let's open this. Add my migration. Add migration. Add migration. Like, did I type something wrong? Like that's, yeah. It's not capitals, no. Add migration. Add to TV. This is so strange. Okay, let's just copy this for a second. Like you see, like I was doing it a lot, but it's been a while for me that I use this in C#. But let's see Stack Overflow. Oh yes, we did forget the tools, of course. Like, my bad. Sorry. Yeah, that's really like my bad. Microsoft tools. Yeah, this one you need to. So Microsoft.Entity Framework Core Tools is the one we also need. Yeah, sorry, was my mistake. But like you see, that is why we are good Googlers. So we can fix those things very easy. So add migration and then add user to database. Boom. Like you see, now the build will start. Build succeed. And now you can check if this is the way you want it in your database. So we're gonna create a table with the name of users, what we said. The ID is an integer. Identity 1.1. You have the name of the table. You have the table with name, table first name, table email, table password, and primary key is user. So that's like the things you set in the model, they will do here. So nothing can be nullable, true, because if you want maybe something you really need to know is if you want to have something that can be nullable, let's say first name can be nullable, then you do just this. Let's say these two can be nullable. Let's try again then. So migrations, let's delete the folder. Let's try again. So add migration, add user. Now you will see if you do this, nullable is true. So if you want something that can be nullable, you just set a question mark after the variable and it will create a nullable type. So if you like this and you want to update it to the database, you just type update database, you press enter, build started, build succeed, and it will push it to the database. A connection was successful with the server, but then yeah, let's see if it is still pushed. Like, probably not, because they say it's not, the connection was like not trusted _ connection, like that is let's see again with Google what the big problem is here. Like, yeah. Let's say C#. Okay, let's say something new. Trusted certificate maybe needs to be in this too. Strange, because I did use this like a lot before, and I never did have any trouble with it. But okay. But it's been a while, because right now I'm using Java, and right now it will work like great. So if you go to your database right now, you will see, like in the database, web API test, you will see the table. If you expand the users, select 1,000 users, you will see like our columns. Let's edit this one for a second. And let's add one. So ID null, name, like my name. Great. So now we have a user. So great. So this was the first thing. You have set up a connection. You pushed it to the database, so you did create like a table with columns. Awesome. Now the next thing what we want is create our first user API. So controller, we're gonna create a controller. We're gonna use an empty controller, and we're gonna say like it's gonna be our user controller. And you can make controllers with write, action controllers, and things like that. What you're gonna do right now is you're gonna create a private. You're gonna create a private, read only, and then application db context. Oh, it's really cold in here. My fingers are frozen. Let's say _db, and then we're gonna create like a constructor, ct or and in the constructor you're gonna do like the same, like this. Autofill right now is really awesome, and now you can do like easy things. Like let's say you want to see every user in the database. So how can you do this? Let's just say we want an enumerable of a user model. Let's say j for a second equals, and now we can say underscore db that users that you can say that user, sorry, and it will retrieve every user. Not gonna return a view. We're gonna return the object of course. I'm gonna return enumerable of the user model, like that, and we're gonna run the program. Let's change my settings. Okay, great. Okay. Oh, sorry, my bad. HTTP get, of course. Okay, rerun the program. Oh. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's close out tabs. Okay, like that happens when you like work too much in the MVC protocol. So that's not the way we do this right now, because this was not a controller I need. Add new item, you're gonna click, and you're gonna select in here an API controller empty, and we're gonna call this one so user controller. Like, that's really my bad. Yes, so same thing here. Let's Control V this, and let's set the same thing here, private read only application db context underscore db, and let's create a constructor ctr, and let's do the same thing in here. Control copy, control, yes, up. Great. Okay, let's rerun this. Yeah, that's the problem. Like, I did, we need to work for school a lot in MVC, and then you can just use a model controller from that. But if you create just an API, you just need an API controller and not a controller with the MVC norms. So if you try this out and you execute it, you will get everybody inside the database. So let's say you just create something new, like say test at test.be and boobla. Let's say you did create a second one, you save this in the database. I'm gonna just execute this again, and you'll see it will automatically get this one from the database. So this is how you can like very easy create an API using Entity Framework. And in Visual Studio, it also has like its own Postman with what you just saw with the Swagger. It's really awesome, and you can build really great things. Like, I don't know like how long we are recording like right now, but really not long, I think. And like you see, it was easy. Okay, like for me, it was like I didn't use it also for some time, so it was. You can, if you have trouble, just look it up on Google. Just copy your error and paste it, because sometimes things will change. Like for example, like this thing, I never used it before. In this, my connection was always safe, only using this one. But like that was a save, that was something new from now. So, but normally you will get a great error message, and a lot of people in the community mostly already fixed the problem for you. So you just need to read like the documentation, and you will find the thing you need to do to fix it. So yeah, that was like the video for creating a really basic API. Like if you want like more in depth about like how you can build a login API, or more difficult, or want to get more in depth with API and things like that in with the dependency injection and entity framework, please let a comment, and we will do that for sure. Then I will maybe create like create something even with a web page using maybe even MVC. Model View Controller, using the Model View Controller from Visual Studio. It's so you can set up a website really fast. But that are things we will see. So just let me know in the comments, and if you have questions, also let me know. I was really fun coding with you guys, and I will see you guys hopefully in the next video. So yeah, thanks. Bye.